What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. Today we're talking about how to lose 22 pounds while eating burgers and fries. Imagine that. Imagine the world where you can eat burgers, cheeseburgers, and French fries and still lose 22 pounds. What kind of world would this be? Is this heaven? Is this Valhalla? Is this paradise? Is this even possible, Mike? Yeah, sure. Is this even possible? Yes, it's possible. That's what we do, and that's what we do all the time, actually. That's what Mirsad Bektic did this week, where he lost 22 pounds while eating burgers and fries to compete in the UFC in the best shape of his life. Wouldn't you love to lose 22 pounds eating burgers and fries and be in the best shape of your life? Wouldn't you? Of course you would. Now, how do we go about doing that? I'll get there in a minute. Just stick with me. Let me give you a little bit of context here. In order to do that, you can't go to McDonald's, obviously, every day, right? You can't drive through McDonald's every day, though Morgan Spurlock did that in that Super Size Me. But he got very sick, right? He got very sick. And in long-term situations, you can't do that. You die and gain weight, and visceral fat goes up dramatically, all-cause mortality. Incidence of that goes up dramatically. You want to be able to eat burgers and fries, lose 22 or more pounds, and get in the best shape of your life, dramatically improve your health. Well, you have to live a healthy lifestyle, right? You have to live a healthy lifestyle first and foremost. That means the other meals that you're eating throughout the day have to be really good, clean, quality meals, but they can also be absolutely delicious, like our breakfast bowl. Do you know our breakfast bowl? Our breakfast bowl. What's my breakfast bowl? My breakfast bowl today is half a cup of oats, 1 full cup of berries, 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of crushed golden flax seeds, a sprinkle of cinnamon, 1 to 2 tablespoons of a peanut butter or an almond butter. What I like to do is I like to get the oat bran, or quick oats is fine, or rolled oats, or steel cut oats, any combination of the oats. So put the oats into the sauce pot. I pre-boil the water in my kettle. Pour the boiling water into the oats and mix them up so they cook. They tenderize. They start to break down. Then I add the berries to the hot pot of hot oats, and I mix the berries in. And I'll take a knife and I'll kind of, clank the knife against the walls, shredding some of the berries while mixing it. What does that do? That unlocks the natural juices of the berries into the oats. It creates a natural sweetener, which is absolutely delicious, but you still have the meat of the berry intact. Now it's torn up a little bit. It adds tremendous texture and tremendous flavor to your oatmeal. Very simple oatmeal. I'll also add raisins, usually just for a little more texture. When I say raisins, it's a high potassium load, which is great, high fiber load, which is great, good simple sugars, which I really want at this time of day, though a lot of people poo-poo having simple sugars from fruit as if that makes you fat. That clearly does not make you fat. That actually makes you a lean, strong, sexy, healthy being in the most part, especially when it's considered to be mixed with all these other essential fats and essential amino acids from high-quality protein sources, complex carbohydrates, high fiber intake. So I'm not worried as much about the simple sugar from the fruit, because there's so much other matter that's being consumed, bulk matter at the same time, that's really going to mitigate any sort of sugar shot. But it's not like we're drinking a can of Coca-Cola here, right? It's not a candy bar. This is natural, fiber-dense, fresh fruit. So mix all that together. I put it into the bowl. Once in the bowl, and then I'll put the dollop of almond butter or peanut butter, and I'll sprinkle the cinnamon on last. Usually, sometimes I'll mix the cinnamon into it. Sometimes I do that, and I'll use a Saigon cinnamon. Well, that's the breakfast bowl. That's what I have almost every day, right? So remember, we're talking about burgers and fries here, burgers and fries. I'll have that almost every day. For lunch, I'll typically have some sort of omelet or fish with a lot of veg, usually a lower total carbohydrate intake. I don't intentionally avoid carbs, right? I'm eating lots of vegetables in this meal, tomatoes and spinach and cucumbers and carrots and mushrooms, micro broccoli, microgreens, olives, lots of good veg. And these are just a few: asparagus, peppers, red peppers and green peppers and onions all mixed in there. So, I mean, we're talking about there's a solid carbohydrate content to this, but I'm not adding an additional carbohydrate source. That's not exactly true, because I'll often finish with a cup of fruit or an apple. So I'm thinking more complex carbohydrates like a potato or rice or bread or pasta, not one of the traditionals. So definitely it's not I would say that's not a low carbohydrate meal from our philosophy. That's more of a low moderate, a schmedium. Well, that's more of a schmedium carbohydrate intake. So that'll be meal 2. Meal 3 will typically be a post-workout. So let's say I've done that's 2. That's the meal that I just had. It's 1:18 now. I'm going to go to the gym about 2 o'clock today. I usually train between 1 and 3 o'clock, 11 and 3 typically, but 1 and 3 on the average. So I had that meal about just around 12:30 or so. So that's 90 minutes, 2 hours before the gym. After the gym, I'll have something like a chicken or turkey. More of a easier digesting, simple animal protein. And I'll have a white rice or a white potato with that, maybe just a little bit of broccoli or asparagus or maybe some red pepper, something to aid digestion, not to really slow down digestion, because I'm looking for a very efficient digestive process, especially post-workout. So I want to get more of these nutrients in faster in a more efficient form so they can be partitioned and utilized in the manner that's most beneficial to what my body needs in that moment. And I can only theorize what my body needs in that moment. But most importantly, I want to give my body all the nutrients it may need in that capacity. So I'll do something like that. Then I'll work maybe a little bit, an hour or two more. Maybe I'll just take a shower. But usually 2 hours after that meal, I'll have another meal, and that meal it might be like a double dinner, which is basically the meal I just had, the chicken and the rice and the whatever. I'll have that, but usually bigger portions, which will digest a little slower. Remember, first meal digestive efficiency post-workout. I might have something completely different altogether. Maybe it's steak and mashed sweet potatoes and Brussels sprouts, which I eat that all the time. It's one of my favorites. Maybe it's a grass-fed beef made into a meatloaf that Brandy makes. I'll have that and some white, mashed potatoes. We usually do the meatloaf and the white mashed potatoes, and then just whatever vegetables, green veggies, or so that we determine to make. That's pretty typical. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's meal 4. Meal 5 will probably be same dinner, second dinner I call it, just a little bit less. I'll probably have maybe 2/3 to 80% the size of the meat portion, and at least half of the carbohydrate, the complex carb portion. Maybe not at all, but usually about half of my previous portion. And I'll have about the same amount of veg, or maybe even a little bit more. So that'll be second dinner. And then before bed, I might have some berries with a little bit of a Greek yogurt. I might have, what else would I have? An apple and some almond butter, which is one of my favorites. We'll do a lot of baked apples. We've been just baking, just kids in the house or just whatever. Get a bag of apples, clean them up, chop them up, throw them in the oven for 20, 30 minutes, depending, sprinkle some cinnamon on them, and they're done. What a great snack, right? What a great little snack. Sometimes I'll just do applesauce or a handful of salted cashews with some red grapes. These are all the Netflix and chill snacks right there. Sometimes, usually lately, because I'm on that recomp phase, crush summer, right? We'll talk more about that later. I'll do a 20, 30 grams of a whey protein isolate, usually intra workout. I find my best results if I have my whey isolate during the workout, midway through the workout, after I got done the hardest of my work sets, kind of the first 1 to 2 exercises of most training days are the hardest. And then you kind of can transfer over to your ancillaries. Usually I'll have it after my biggest, hardest lift. I'll start sipping on it, usually through the first set of my next ancillary exercise. I feel better. It perks up my energy. I'm very, I'm blood sugar sensitive. Bad blood sugar runs in my family in many, many different ways. So lots of diabetes and strokes and amputations even that I've seen in my bloodline, which is, scary. But everyone involved that I'm aware of had very terrible nutrition and health lifestyles. And you would think that they would listen to this dude, but nobody. It's funny because just like you in your world, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, as good as what you are in life. And if anyone who knows you say, hey, like I'm the best accountant in the world, you might want to think about this. People are like, shut up, what do you do? My guy at H&R Block said to do something else, whatever it might be. So nobody listens to us if they know us, right? No, our family never listens to us. But I've seen it for sure, and I understand exactly what it is. So being a little more conscious of that. That's a typical day. And that day right there is very typical of what our Living Lean program is. If you know what our Living Lean program is, Living Lean was our #1 best-selling book, wrote it and released it in 2011. We actually beat The Help. Remember that? The book, The Help. It was part of Oprah's book club. Living Lean actually beat that as #1. We were #1 and The Help was the #2 bestseller. We didn't make the bestseller list because ours was independently published. And you have to be traditional published to make all of the big bestseller lists. But we were #1 on Barnes & Noble, #1 on Amazon, #1 on iTunes, #1 on Kindle, #1 in 5 different countries. Living Lean. Living Lean was a very simple book. And it detailed my own weight loss from 282 pounds down to 169 pounds. 282 pound suit and tie wearing competitive amateur power lifter working in municipal finance as a real estate tax assessor. Also running my strength and conditioning business on the side and building that whole area of my passion. All the way down to weighing in at 169 pounds to fight Antonio McKee in the IFL, to which I fought him to a 3-round decision. Antonio McKee at that time was one of the greatest fighters on the planet, pound for pound, for sure, and had all sorts of titles and accolades. I believe he's the last man to have beaten John Smith, American legend John Smith, 2-time Olympian, 5-time world champion. My apologies, Coach Smith, on how many world titles you've won, but John Smith is one of the winningest amateur wrestlers in the history of wrestling, let alone the United States, one of the greatest ever. And Antonio McKee beat him. Put it that way, I fought him to a tough 3-round decision at 169 pounds. I went from a suit and tie professional, right? Suit and tie professional, sitting at my desk at 282 pounds, morbidly obese, strong as hell, power lifter, strong as hell, morbidly obese, right? All the way to realizing what the hell am I doing with my life and dropping all the way down to 169 to fight competitively at the higher levels of professional mixed martial arts. Isn't that crazy? In my 30s, right? I did this in my 30s, by the way, in my 30s. Isn't that crazy? So that's what Living Lean is. That's the book Living Lean. Now, if you guys cared to, you can certainly go to DolceDietShop.com or to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to all these places and you can still purchase a copy of Living Lean. You could also go to thedolcediet.com and you can join your own 12-week Living Lean program. This is a personalized online nutrition and exercise program, the exact Living Lean model, the intellectual property that is what Living Lean is, because this is a very scientifically vetted core curriculum of nutrition protocols with very exact nutrients to consume. This is personalized completely to you, the user, the individual, at thedolcediet.com. Every meal, every recipe, every ingredient is personalized to you specifically, down to the gram, down to the teaspoon, and everything you need is inside this system. If any of you wanted something like this, something that's structured, it's highly effective, the meals are delicious, and this is where the burgers come in, because the burgers are a part of the Living Lean program. So usually, and they're actually the burgers, the Buff Burger, as many of you know what the Buff Burger is, it's our own recipe, which is way better. I lived in Las Vegas, right? I lived in Las Vegas for almost 10 years. Our burger is better than any burger I've ever eaten in Las Vegas. There's $30, $50, $200 burgers in Las Vegas, and I've eaten them all. Ours crushes them. I would have no problem eating or paying the filet mignon prices for our burger and fries. And this is something that you make in your own home once to twice a week. And we mentioned Mirsad Bektic. Mirsad was eating his burger every week, once a week, and this was his routine. Every Friday night, he would have his burger night. That would be burger night. After a hard week is put in, he would have his burger night. And the burger, and I have mine, and many of you who follow the Dolce Diet program, you all have yours, and you understand exactly what we're talking about. All of my private clients, they absolutely love it. It's homemade, delicious, grass-fed, big-ass burger on toasted, warm, crunchy, toasted bread, served with, your choice really of cheeses and of condiments. That's all awesome and fine. And then fries, either baked sweet potato or white potato fries. Usually 2 to 3 potatoes worth is what most of our clients are having. That is a massive basket of fries. And what happens? They wake up Saturday and look even better. Muscles filled out, round, vascular, right? Because it's a proper refeed that is built into the algorithm of our system. This is, again, very scientifically vetted, what we do here. Most people don't understand it. They look at these delicious recipes and they say, oh, Dolce just tells you to eat whole food. That's what they think because they haven't peeled back 1 to 2 layers to actually start to calculate the math behind our programs. I'm a math guy, right? I'm a math guy. Most people, some of you know, some of you don't know. I'm a gifted mathematician in many ways. I worked in municipal finance, right? Think about that. Think about what that actually entails. I worked on the valuation side of municipal finance, spread over, municipal, properties, tens of thousands of properties within each jurisdiction. And I was the guy responsible for the mathematical algorithms to determine what the market value, the assessed value, the taxable percentage of these numbers really should be. This is, really high, complex mathematics here. So, of course, naturally, what I do is all underpinned under mathematics, which is why I say all the time, 0.00 ... Do you know what that means? Most people don't know what that means. That means that if any equation does not end at 0.00 or time calculation, a ... then it's wrong. Like our athletes have to weigh 146.00 pounds at exactly 4.00. Right? Exactly 4 p.m. they have to be 146.00. Done, deal, end of story. There is no 0.1, there is no 0.1 in this equation. It has to be perfect and specific. Again, anyone who knows me understands the mathematical side to what we do, that there's boards and calculations everywhere. But it's also tempered with the emotional, experiential, social interface of the numbers. Does that make sense? I think that should make sense. And this is where a lot of other professionals in the field, they don't get that. They don't understand that. They don't understand the interface between social, emotional, cultural mathematics. There has to be a seamless interface because the numbers can't just be the numbers if they're not able to have an impact on the external realities of your life. Right? Why haven't you followed the diet? The macro counters or what it might be, it's numbers, right? Because the numbers, they don't interface into your social life, into your emotional life, into your cultural life, into real life, right? So what we do through our Living Lean program, we offer these culturally rewarding, familiar, these social opportunities of earned meals and of refeeds and of, I can walk into any restaurant right now and people say, oh, Dolce, I go out to eat all the time. I go out, I'm a big, salesperson. I'm a business person. I go out to eat. I got to entertain clients. That's why I'm 60 pounds overweight and I eat like shit. Because I have to entertain clients. I say, bullshit. I go out to dinner more than you do, probably. I'm out to dinner all the time, every day, at least once a day. Usually 2 or 3 times a day. I'm out and about in the world in restaurants, in coffee shops. I'm eating all the time, traveling the world. Every continent except Antarctica. I'm flowing through every single year, multiple times, touchdowns, multiple times. Airports, planes, trains, automobiles, hotel rooms. Lean, green, and clean, man. Lean, green, and clean, gal. You can eat all this stuff. I can put together any amazing meal in a Denny's, at an IHOP, at a Ruth's Chris, at any big name restaurant you can think of. I can put together a perfect living lean meal because of the principles. And this is what we offer also. Not just the mathematical algorithm of success, not just the cultural, social, emotional interface to your life. We actually offer the principles allowing you to take this with you and carry on and not follow a template program, where you're then equipped to make the proper decision in the moment, regardless of what's available to you. Isn't that awesome? Because that's the only way it's going to work. If my eyes keep floating to those watching on the video, it's because of the camera. The camera's flipped up from where it normally is. And it's harder to see where the lens is. So there you are, there you are, there you are, there you are. Hey, you. So burger night, right? So then you can eat a burger, a beautiful burger. You can plan your burger party, baby. Once to twice a week, depending on how close you are to your goals. You can be eating the breakfast bowl every day. You can be eating pancakes every day, every other day, 1, 2, 3 days a week. Nobody wants to eat pancakes every day. Pancakes are great. I want them once or twice a week. I don't want them every day. You can be eating eggs and omelets and quiche and frittatas and burritos and fajitas and chilies and pastas. All on our plan. Mashed potatoes, sweet potato hash, all of that is on the Living Lean program. Isn't that beautiful? But we teach you exactly how to cook it. Maybe it's you're not using canola oil anymore. Maybe you're using avocado oil or coconut oil. Maybe you switch to a grass-fed butter. Maybe you made a few small changes like this that have a dramatic impact on your health, your body's ability to metabolize and oxidize stored body fat, to utilize and release that body fat finally, because the proportion of nutrients coming into your body now are correct and they're balanced. So you can start letting go of this extra weight, your body, this toxicity your body's been holding on to. You can let that go finally. You can start building lean, healthy, fresh muscle tissue because now all the right nutrients are there being delivered at the right times in the right proportions to really start to build that muscle, to improve your energy, to increase collagen production, make your eyes brighter, your hair grow longer. All of that happens because you're finally putting the right micro-phytonutrients in at the proper macronutrient ratio and the total caloric intake. It's all there. It's all easy. Now, it's difficult if you have to do all that work. I get it. I understand it. That's why my team and I have devoted our lives and our careers to doing this for you and providing content and curriculum just like this podcast where I can discuss it with you. Now, many of you should go back and listen to this again. You should probably go back and maybe take some notes and listen to this. Many of you who want this built specifically for you should just go to thedolcediet.com and start your own 12-week Living Lean program, plus the 4 weeks of 3 weeks to Shredded that are given in as a bonus to really get in amazing shape. Some people will jumpstart 3 weeks to Shredded, 3-4 weeks of that to get that good 10, 15, 20 pound weight loss, and then jump into the Living Lean program to keep losing weight, recompositioning the body, and adding more of these delicious foods. There's a very robust menu on Living Lean. And what we say is find the recipes that you love that work great for you and just keep those in at those appropriate sizes that we've calibrated for you. Because that's what the system does at thedolcediet.com. It completely personalizes your own program. You have your membership dashboard, you have your nutrition program, you have your exercise program. It's on your phone. You take it to the gym, you follow the workout. It's all right there for you. You have your leaderboard. You can see how you rank with total weight loss or percentage of body weight against, any other individual, any other gender, any other location, any other age group, mixed with everybody, mixed with just a segment. You can see where you fit, where you rank. Resources, it's all in there at thedolcediet.com. I strongly suggest you check it out, especially if you need some structure. It's there, it works, it's awesome, it's easy, it's delicious. I mean, it's all there, and it's very inexpensive for what it offers you. And summer's coming, right? It's February 11th as I record this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, we're 12 weeks away from May 1st, right? Memorial Day is coming quick. April is tank top weather. April is sunshine weather. April is sunshine weather. Let's get in amazing shape before that. Let's start the process now. I've mentioned it before, crush summer. Let's crush summer this year. Let's get in amazing shape well before. Most people won't even start to think about getting ready for summer, getting healthy for summer, looking their best look for summer until May. Oh no, Memorial Day's next week. I better start dieting now. I hope I can lose 10 pounds in a week. And guess what? You're not going to lose it. You're not going to sustain it. And even if you do lose it, you're not going to look nearly the way that you should look if you lost the 10 pounds now and just maintain that healthy lifestyle. Like, you don't have to lose any more, but your skin continues to shrink. Instead of having that skinny, fat, saggy skin, you have to give your body some time for the skin to shrink to your new, smaller, leaner body, right? You want that skin to shrink so everything looks nice and tight, not kind of loose and flabby. We've all been there. Maybe you start building and sculpting. You've lost the 10 pounds, but now you start sculpting more curves. That takes time. Every workout's great, but it takes a few weeks, even a few months to really start to unleash your best form. That's what I'm talking about now. So on February 11th, let's start. Let's start choosing better. Let's start eating better. Let's start living better. Let's get that goal going right now. My goal is by May 1st. By May 1st, I want to have my ultimate summer body. That's my goal by May 1st, before, like a month before Memorial Day even kicks off. I want to be ready. So I'll just keep getting better and better through May, better and better through June, better and better through July. Most people's summer like peaks in July 4th, kind of through mid-July. That's like the peak of summer. And then August comes and it starts to wind down. Most people look terrible in August, by the way, because they peak for like that July 4th. That's the peak. And then they kind of maintain it. And then they start too many barbecues, too many beers, too many late nights, too many poor choices under the influence of alcohol. And it all just kind of fades away, right? By September, you don't even look like you ever got in shape for summer. Think about that, right? So this is some of the content I want to be sharing with you. But again, burgers. You can eat burgers and get in amazing shape and continue to get in amazing shape by eating these delicious burgers with just a few little tweaks and changes. If you care, we have the Living Lean Cookbook. Our recipes are in there. You can go to, Living Lean Cookbook spent over 3 consecutive years on the iTunes top 10 digital downloads. Living Lean Cookbook Volume 2. How about that? It was like 38 some odd months inside the top 10. It was like, please, make it just into the 3 years so we could say that. And it was 38 plus months. And then it was into like the top 20. And it still does keep jumping back into the top 10, just through surges and whatnot. So that's easy. That's like a $10 download. If you wanted that, Living Lean Cookbook Volume 2. I just want you guys to have the information you need so you don't have excuses anymore, right? Living Lean Cookbook, $9.99, iTunes, Kindle, digital download right now. You can go to Amazon or DolceDietShop.com. You can pick up any of these books, the Living Lean book or the Living Lean Cookbook book, or you can go to thedolcediet.com for the online personalized membership program, which is obviously by far much more personalized, much more sophisticated, much more interactive, much more depth inside the online platform because it's brand new. We kind of built it 4 years ago almost now, but we constantly improve it and update it. And many of you on there right now have seen dramatic updates. We got another huge update that'll be coming soon just to completely stay ahead of the curve and provide overwhelming value for your faith in us and what we do, delivering content. That's what we do. That's what I'm doing here on the Mike Dolce Show podcast. If you haven't yet, YouTube channel, go subscribe to the audio podcast. Make sure you subscribe to both. Audio podcast. If you have not yet, go to the Dolce Diet YouTube channel and subscribe so you can see the podcast. Sometimes we do these podcasts video and here's a full video podcast. And sometimes I just turn the stuff on. I got something to say and I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. Is it going to be 10 minutes? Is it going to be 30 minutes? What have you? Is it going to be a podcast? Is it just going to be a quick vlog? And I think this one worked out for both because the content here is so good. So go back and listen to this again to pick up. I dropped a lot of kernels in there about my day, my life, my meals, my recipes, my hacks that will make your life so much easier. If you just do the things I talked about in this episode, you'll probably lose 10 pounds. If you have the extra weight to lose, just by implementing the things that I just said that I do in my life, you'll probably drop 10 pounds. Just by simply doing that. Come on, easy, free content. This stuff works, guys and gals. As much as I can share with you, that's what I am dedicated to do. Also, those of you interested, get your blood work done today, right now only, letsgetchecked.com/Dolce and save 30% on your in-home blood work. Many of you, awesome. So many of you, I've been getting constantly hit up with those of you who have checked out letsgetchecked.com/Dolce, promo code Dolce30 to save 30% on these in-home blood tests. Guys, get your testosterone checked. Get your cholesterol checked for pennies on the dollar. Please do that. Pennies on the dollar, promo code Dolce30 at letsgetchecked.com. I cannot say enough about how easy this is, how inexpensive this is, but how necessary this information is. For everybody listening, for everybody watching, you definitely need to get a better understanding of where you stand on the inside. Get your blood work done, and this is probably the most inefficient or the most inexpensive, the most efficient and the most inexpensive way to get it done. It is so easy. It is so easy. It is so easy at letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. Promo code Dolce30, save 30%, which why would you not? And ladies, Ladies, get your thyroid checked. Please get your thyroid checked. There's a whole array of tests available on there. If you guys don't know what test to take, call your doctor. This is great. Once you get this done, just forward this information to your doctor. Get it on file so your doc has it. Talk to your doctor and make an appointment with your doctor. Next time you go to your doctor, and you can actually, it'll be on your phone because you get your own personal dashboard. It's super cool. Letsgetchecked.com/Dolce. Sign up for your own free account. Get your dashboard set up. You go through like a wellness questionnaire. You get to kind of like get into the system, learn more about what questions you should really be asking. Then all of your information is kept within your dashboard so you can then evaluate where you are. You can track and see where you were in January, where you were in February, where you were in March, and what's happening to your blood work. I mean, get in control. I can't talk enough about this because I've been talking about this for years and years and years, right? I've been talking about blood work for years and years and years. Be best friends with your doctor. Go get your blood work done every 6 to 8 weeks, 12 weeks maximum. My God, it better be once every 6 months. I mean, that's like the bare minimum that you must do. Every 3 months is amazing. Letsgetchecked.com/Dolce and save 30%. I appreciate you guys for being here, for hanging out with us. It's always awesome to share the airwaves, to have this chat with you. I feel like you are sitting right here in the room with me, and I do appreciate that, and you are. So lots of good things coming back. I know I've said it multiple times, but finally excited that my travel is over to get our podcast guests on. We have a great array of podcast guests, IFBB, professional bodybuilders, NPC, competitors, mixed martial arts, some of the most famous mixed martial arts athletes on the planet, and coaches, doctors, nutritionists, meatheads, all good stuff. Meatheads, strength coaches, meatheads, we all love to be called meatheads. So really good guest selection coming up, and we'll be dropping those all soon for you. Also, if you haven't listened, check out my good buddy Josh Peck's Curious podcast, Curious with Josh Peck. I'm proud to have been invited onto his podcast. I think it was a great time. And Curious is one of my favorite podcasts. The guests he has. It's basically on the level with Joe Rogan. The guest Josh Peck has on his podcast is incredible, and the concept is he's truly curious. He's curious about things, and he brings on a wide array of individuals. He had Dennis Rodman on there recently, John Stamos, Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. These are just a few simple ones that I can think of. Vincent D'Onofrio, Rosie Perez, just like, Chael Sonnen, Jason Ellis, just a really wide array, very eclectic guest list. And we go deep. Josh is a guy who's personally talked about, being overweight as a young man. He was starred on Josh and Drake, that Nickelodeon show, Josh and Drake. He was the Josh. He was the star of that for many years, a decade or so. And he's very much in the public spotlight, very much loved and adored because he's such an amazing person. And he had his own weight loss transformation where, I forget how much exactly, but he lost probably as much as I did, 100 pounds or so or more, to change his life. And he really does focus on health and fitness now. So we have a really good conversation about all the things about health and fitness, and lifestyle change, and just a wide array, being dads, and just really cool stuff. So the Curious podcast, Curious with Josh Peck, I definitely recommend you guys check that out too. I appreciate you being here, and until next time, don't count calories, make calories count. Boom!